So it's going to be a little different. Well, I'm staring right now at the Denali Mountains. Well, there they are. It's pretty crazy. It's gorgeous. The mountains more visible on a clear day. But anyway, I'm up here sketching in the middle of nowhere. Literally. Anyway, just doing some basic sketches of taking notes in a way. So it's like I'll have very basic shapes laid in, and the numbers are representative of values. So here it says 9.5. That's for the brightest spot. Then all this was like clouds, so I'm labeling them as 8, 7, 9.5, and then the mountain was like a 4 or 5 in terms of, so 10 being the brightest, because you're like doing a full painting in your mind, but laying down the notes. Here we have this one I made up just based on what I already sketched. You have clouds at the bottom of the mountain. In the same way that that cloud is darker than the snow lit. You can see the snow tops there. Same thing here. So the cloud will be darker, and in this area, I made it so that it's kind of in this bowl. And these are things I never would have just come up with if I had been up here sketching. And the Denali National Park in Alaska. Never thought I'd ever be here. Anyway, the wind is just taking away. I did some other sketches on the bus. Explorer, female character. Just kind of. These birds look hilarious. They're the state bird of Alaska. Looks like a little tiny turkey. No, a small turkey with a tiny head. Is. So yeah, here's like another spot. It was actually a cliff. No, and then it was actually a sea here, and then mountains, and then clouds. And I had to take a note for myself of, this whole entire top part, the values are in this range, in these top few values. They're pretty bright. And then in the foreground, it was using these darker colors. Went to the edge and looked to the left, and you see this range of mountains going off into the distance, into the perspective. And it might not make sense, but since I sketched it, I know what's going on. The one takeaway for me is this horizon at the base of the mountains was pretty sharp. I mean, there was a bit of fog, but it gets really blurry as it goes into the distance. Also, there's an interesting thing happening with the clouds. Like they'll go kind of soft. Actually, it's happening right over there. It's hilarious. I could just do this. It's right in front of me. You see how they're let me get it sharp. So right here it's blurry, right here it's sharp, and then sharp, blurry, sharp, blurry, and then it kind of staggers like that. So it's something to remember when you're drawing mountains and clouds and landscapes. And then this creates a whole sharp line. It's all dark up here, bright up here. And we often draw like mountains like this, whatever, and you just have stuff like that. But if you look, there's so many different textures and shapes, of rock and silt and dirt kind of coming down, and they create these interesting things. And at the base you have a gradient of green as it goes to sandy, tan. Now actually this range over here is called, I think, polychrome mountains, or polychrome range or something. Poly meaning multiple, chrome meaning color, because you have different colors. It ranges from the red copper to bluish gray to green, and then back to gray again. So it's like a range of different colors, so multicolored range. Oh look, there's people over there. Why is that guy talking to himself? That's what they're saying. Apparently there's a bear spotted over there earlier. Getting dirt on my sketchbook. This was a pretty good page. Now, I was trying to be pretty accurate, but I was also sketching this. Most of these I was sketching on the bus here. So, same thing. These are the polychrome mountains. Those same ones over there, but from a different view. There are little puddles of ponds. Now, that's not where they actually were. They're just reminders here. And I took a note to myself that these areas look like burnt toast. Let's see if I can find it on there. Yeah, some of these just look like burnt toast with the colors and the crispness of the darks against the reds. And then over here, actually I'm not seeing them over there, maybe on the other side. So it's like a marble color happening there, but it's reds and yellows, and then it kind of gradates and fades into green all over here. And so again, the numbers are, the brightest right here, an 8 over there, if you look here. So this would be an 8, that would be a 9, immediately to a 4 or 5. I wrote 5 right here. So, if I was painting this with oil paints, I'd be using yellow ochre a lot in that area. So 5, 8. Now I could take this as a note and go to my, Photoshop later and easily paint that. Probably not as accurately, but because the numbers are there, I kind of have a jump start. It's the same thing. This one is a bit crude. I was had 10 seconds to look at something, take it in, and try to come up with, a note for it. So, this is where the staggering was happening. This mountain was in front of the cloud, but the cloud was in front of this mountain, and of course over here it was blurry. There's all kinds of different bushes and stuff. Probably not from here, but on my way here I saw a bunch of cool things. Another one, so like the size of this mountain had interesting textures, and it almost looked like it was stratified layers of rock, and then the trees were so tiny, and I noticed, before I had put the trees there, it was like a triangle with some scribbles on it. But when I put those trees there, it made the mountain seem really big. So using scale cues of items that are in the foreground, like if this was a tree here, and it goes again, and it just gets smaller and smaller, it makes this seem way big, and that's a perspective trick. So now here was interesting, because these had streams of water that were reflecting the light against the dark dirt, and it looked like veins, and so it was pretty cool. So here, so this would be dark. No, it was the brightest here. 9.5. There was a cloud, so we'll put it at 8. But these ice caps, kind of that might actually be the same exact mountain from a different view, but it looks like you can easily just take a lasso tool and come up with those shapes or shapes similar to that, and then add little dots and fill that in with some white, and you got something like that. And then you fill that in. I call them lasso caps because you can use the lasso tool to make the ice caps. So just come up with little characters, a little seal dude. He's like a half gnome, half seal. I don't know. He has a submarine. He's a traveler, a tinkerer. My hands are freezing right now. Some character sketches. And we saw a lot of moose here. And I was like, make a little cool fantasy character with that. Anyway, it's been an incredible trip. This is my last night here, so I'll be spending the night in Anchorage and then heading back. But we got really interesting things coming up for us all. Moving back to California, got an announcement to make. I'll be doing some cool stuff there, and stay tuned for that. Again, thanks for watching, and as always, click. Also to add, I'll probably add this footage, the whole real-time footage of this painting, in the next Patreon package. All right, I'm going to bed. I'm done. All right, I guess double click